I love talking about prospects, but unfortunately, the ugly side of the prospect world is talking about guys who have to show up and have to show something in 2025. It sucks to talk about it in such absolutes or talk about it in a way that places pressure on these players, but the reality of it is that baseball is a sport that moves quickly, and organizations like the Yankees, who are constantly in contention, will always value their 40-man spots. Today, we're going to talk about 3 prospects who have to start showing something in 2025, or else they could find themselves on the chopping blocks in 2026. Ranging from guys who are just in their age window where they need to start proving themselves, or guys who are on their final years of having minor league options. There is pressure for these 3 hitters to get the ball rolling in 2025 and show the Yankees that they're big leaguers. But before we get into today's video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn the notification bell to check out Fireside Yankees on all of your favorite social media platforms as well, whether that's Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, or of course this YouTube page. The links for everything are in the description, and without further ado, let's get into today's video. Everson Pereira's ability to do damage on contact and make elite swing decisions made him a top 100 prospect on Baseball America in 2023, but his 27-game stint in the Bronx unveiled a brutal flaw that could stop him from ever reaching the major leagues again. With a 38.8% strikeout rate, all of Pereira's contact issues were on full display for the other 29 teams in baseball to see, and following Tommy John surgery last season, his value has seemingly crashed. When you're measuring Everson Pereira's power tool on a traditional 20 to 80 scale, it's hard to argue it should be any lower than a 70, especially considering the high exit velos and the excellent game power. Since being promoted to AAA during the summer of 2023, the 24-year-old has a 12.6% barrel rate with 28 home runs in 121 games, but with a 36.4% whiff rate, there's not much to indicate that he'll be able to take advantage of his elite power. In 2024, there were some strides made in May, but they came at the cost of some game power, which could have been the product of playing through a UCL tear. If Everson Pereira gets to spring training and stays healthy, he'll likely get optioned to AAA, which will give him the everyday reps that he needs to continue improving his ability to make contact. The goal isn't to make contact at a league average clip, but just to improve on what are bottom of the barrel zone contact rates. His aggressive approach at the plate will allow him to have a strikeout rate that's lower than one would expect for someone with his whiff rates. And if Everson Pereira can have around a 25% strikeout rate in AAA, that could allow him to be a dangerous force in the big leagues. Everson Pereira looks sharp in left field, which is remarkably difficult to play at Yankee Stadium, and this season might be the most important of his professional career. The Yankees will lose the ability to option Everson Pereira down to the minor leagues at the conclusion of the 2025 season, and if he isn't a proven big leaguer by the end of the year, he could end up having to go into camp in 2026 fighting for his life on the roster, and if he isn't able to cut it out here and isn't able to get traded, he may end up becoming a journeyman signing minor league deals around the league. This is a crucial year for Everson Pereira's development, and as an outfielder with the defensive abilities to handle the corner outfield or even center field, an outfielder who has the speed to run the bases and provide some value there, and a hitter with tons of power, it would be a shame to see him end up not really making much of an impact at the next level. In terms of where he could fit on the Major League roster, Trent Grisham is going to be the Yankees' 4th outfielder unless somebody gets hurt, but if there is an injury, if there is something that comes up, a strong spring training and some much needed progress in the contact department in AAA could result in the Yankees turning back to Everson Pereira and giving him a chance to start. Sometimes it just takes a lucky break or an injury here or there, but luck is preparation meets opportunity. And if the opportunity comes around for Everson Pereira to play again at the big league level, he needs to be prepared to take that job and never look back. Just like Everson Pereira, Jorbit Vivas has just 1 year with minor league options left, and the Yankees are going to need him to find a role on this roster by the end of the 2025 season, or again, like with Pereira, have to cut him loose in 2026. Things looked great for Jorbit Vivas before the All-Star break, as the team called him up for a series against the Baltimore Orioles, And at that point in time, he had a 120 WRC plus with the Scranton Rail Riders in AAA. His excellent plate discipline and funky but lofty swing made him an interesting candidate to snag a job for one of the infielders on the team, especially since this was before the trade deadline, meaning that DJ LeMahieu was their primary third baseman. Unfortunately, he didn't get to play at the major league level in those 3 games. He was immediately sent down to AAA, and he didn't really build off of that experience, and his numbers just tanked. He finished the season with a 92 WRC plus, and ultimately, it wasn't the kind of year that cemented Vivas as a long-term fixture on this roster. Brian Cashman mentioned him among the internal candidates fighting for a starting job. While I'm, again, not very confident that he'll win a spot in the everyday lineup or on their bench, he could potentially get a job on this team or get called up if injuries arise or if they just need somebody to shake things up. Jorbit Vivas does a good job getting the ball out to right field while making tons of contact and working walks, but his raw power leaves a lot to be desired. The Yankees have utilized him as a second baseman and a third baseman, with that versatility potentially being a route for him to win a job on the bench down the road. He makes good swing decisions, has good contact rates, and again, has good pulled fly ball rates, so if Jorbit Vivas could just find a way to consistently tap into his power, you could see an infielder with a well-rounded approach and a good glove to boot at 2 different positions. The Yankees saw him hit a ball 109.8 miles per hour in AAA, which is the hardest hit ball anyone has recorded for Vivas throughout his professional career. And if the Yankees can add some of the extra speed he brings to the table and that versatile glove, he could again carve out a role on this team, whether it's on a bench or potentially as a starting infielder. Spring training is going to be vital for him because if he has a strong spring, carries it into Scranton, and has a good start to his season, an injury here or an underperformance there could pave the way for Jorbit Vivas to get at bats at the next level. You don't want this to end up being a situation where he's out of minor league options next spring, still hasn't made his major league debut, or has made his major league debut but was remarkably unimpressive. Because at that point in time, teams will know you want to trade the player, and they'll just wait for either A, the Yankees to have their price drop to literally nothing, or B, for the Yankees to end up placing him on waivers and hopefully having that player fall to the team. Jorbit Vivas was acquired last winter from the Dodgers, and while we've seen spurts or flashes of a player who could be a big leaguer, we need to see it consistently this year, or else it may be curtains on his tenure with the Yankees. In his major league debut, Ben Rice put up a 73 WRC plus and 264 on base percentage in 50 games. And while that would be a reason for fans to give up on him entering his age 26 season, the underlying metrics were beyond enticing. Ben Rice was in the 67th percentile in zone contact rate, the 88th percentile in Seager score, which is a metric that evaluates your plate discipline, and he was in the 80th percentile in generating damage after being promoted to the majors, having an extremely well-rounded profile at the plate. The biggest reason that Ben Rice struggled was because of a 186 batting average on balls in play, which he has virtually no chance of repeating if he does the damage at the rate he did it last year with his ability to work the strike zone well and lift the ball. Ben Rice can pull the ball in the air and take advantage of the short porch in right field, and he's a dark horse candidate to win a job as this team's leadoff hitter at some point during the season. Various projection models view Ben Rice as a quality major league bat, with Zips projecting him for a 114 WRC plus, 22 home runs, and a 430 slugging percentage across 114 games, and Steamer projecting him for a 112 WRC plus. Unlike the other 2 players on this list, Ben Rice has 2 years with minor league options remaining, and that could keep him in the organization beyond 2025, even if he doesn't carve out a role on the big league roster. But with that being said, the current first base and DH situation opens a door for Rice right now, because you can almost guarantee a shot to get playing time this season. Paul Goldschmidt is on a 1-year deal and is coming off of the worst year of his major league career as a 37-year-old entering his age 38 season. He's the furthest thing from a lock to perform, and if he struggles and or gets hurt, Paul Goldschmidt could end up in a situation where Ben Rice steps in for him and just takes his job. Giancarlo Stanton has also spent time on the injured list every single season of his career dating back to 2019, which could open up playing time for Ben Rice to play as a DH as well. The Yankees could also just move Judge to DH and play Jason Dominguez in right and Bellinger in left and Trent Grisham in center. But if Ben Rice is a strong camp and he's performing well in AAA, I wouldn't be shocked to see the Yankees bring up Rice to replace someone like Stanton while he's on the IL. Furthermore, the Yankees' lack of clarity in the backup catcher role could open the door for Ben Rice to win a job with the team out of camp. Ben Rice hit 24 home runs in 79 games with a 163 WRC plus and a 20.2% strikeout rate in the minor leagues last season. And if it ever clicks in the big leagues, we could be looking at a long-term fixture in the middle of the Yankees lineup. Ben Rice knows how to get on base, he knows how to hit for power, and quite honestly, he's one of the most well-rounded hitters I've ever seen the Yankees have at the minor league level. I would be stunned, and yes, I'm going to be this bold, I would be stunned if Ben Rice never has a WRC plus at or above 110 in a major league season in his career, because his talent is just so good. And if the Yankees can hone in his skills and get him to just repeat what he did last year with some better luck, we could see a 120 WRC plus hitter who hits over 20 home runs and has an on-base percentage in a 330 to 340 range. He's well-rounded, tons of pop, good feel for contact, and a great feel for the strike zone. Ben Rice, it's your year in 2025, buddy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you liked today's video, let us know in the comment section below and show some love by pressing that like and subscribe button. We appreciate you guys tuning in and checking out Fireside Yankees. And if you enjoyed this content and want to see more of it, again, subscribe, check out some of our previous videos, or hop over to our social media pages on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, or of course, this YouTube page. The handle is at Fireside Yankees for everywhere except Instagram, where it's at fireside.yankees. And you can check out empiresportsmedia.com for not only the written version of this video, but written coverage of all of your favorite New York sports teams and some other big market teams as well. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go Yankees. Peace out.
Perfect.